That's the people of the state that are gang stalking inside of a private space along with the demon in Unit 55. And no traffic's going to be heard inside of the apartment. And this is sunlight that is bouncing off. This is the same apartment building at 8:30, and it is currently 1:58 p.m. This is engineer light, my shadow. Unit 52. Yeah, going to federal prison. I just want you to see. Walking down the stairs does not create crackling. This is Ontario Police. That's gang stalking. Under a fake sun. That's P.O.C. Okay? That is, again, the same one that, as you're looking, there's no potholes occurring in the sidewalk. She's crossing paths. She knows that she's being documented. And what you saw on video is the ongoing sex offense committed by the government. This is where the Ontario International Airport is flying over and where the Ontario Police Department is flying over. And she's going to federal prison. All right. This is the pattern of conduct where they are gang stalking inside of a private space. This is what she's doing at 6:17 in the morning. This is what she's doing at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning. And she's doing it under the fake sun. It is over the same apartment building, 1:58 p.m., where the entity is keeping the light source for the duration of the day. That's the evidence of what Alvarado Gardens was doing with the LAPD and speaker companies and all of the demons at Alvarado Gardens apartments. She and everyone else is going to federal prison. She acts as the entity, and she acts with a high level of malice. This demon, as I documented in the images, you have second by second amplification. So this is ongoing psychological torture that every household is engaging in together. And they're doing it in a specific environment. Walking outside of the apartment in the parking lot is also monitoring. She's monitoring right now while the demons are flying in airplanes. All right. It is AVANATH Capital Management that's going to be prosecuted. There is no sun that's going to create what is this light activity on the floor in the living room where the airport is gang stalking under a fake sun where it was at 8:30 in the morning. And this is criminal contribution to public corruption while the people of the state living at a community are gang stalking with the city of Ontario that uses commercial planes, spending thousands of dollars with every airplane, every gang stalking airline at the Ontario International Airport. That's audible activity. And they're doing that in concert with the gang stalking households here at Woodside Senior Apartments. Okay, and that's the Paul Leon's criminal activity, criminal engagement, criminal contribution to public corruption. All right, and this is a sex offense committed by a public entity. That's a sex offense committed by households. There are children inside of unit number 41, and they're gang stalking with the government. All right, this is for the criminal purposes of monitoring. This is impossible light activity. Remember, on this day, the sun is remaining over at Woodside Senior Apartments, and it's remaining on this day in 2024 over Alvarado Gardens. All right, and so that is speaking to the ongoing psychological torture. While this engineer light fills this apartment, this has nothing to do. I want you to see my shadow activity as I'm moving around. This is a sex offense while I'm being molested with engineer light, where you see the Ontario International Airport is a domestic terrorist. AVANATH Capital Management is a gang stalking landlord, and they will be prosecuted under a Violence Against Women Act, the VAWA legislation, and so will the people of the state. They're going to be prosecuted by their gang stalking employees, including Linda Reyes. They're going to be prosecuted by virtue of their gang stalking residents whom they're criminally profiting off of. They're going to be prosecuted based on the gang stalking of the government, the city of Ontario. This is the light source that is remaining over the same apartment building you saw at 8:30 in the morning, as in the morning when you saw me walk to the exterior of this building, and the fake sun remained over me as I walked to this very edge. And this is where you're seeing it at the very edge of the building that I walked to this morning. As I walked back and forth and back and forth, the fake sun remains stationary. This demon that you see walking outside is crossing path because I'm outside documenting her, and she is doing nothing other than monitoring to return back into the apartment to continue the same exact ongoing hours of psychological torture like I documented as of 6 morning. Okay, her criminal conduct is that which is attributed to the entity. They're all going to federal prison in units 33 through 64. She is only outside to engage in the P.O.C, knowing that I'm capturing video, and she's crossing path and doing, which you'll see her doing under the fake sun at all hours of the day. The entity doing so with the Ontario International Airport. She did the exact same thing with the Ontario Police Department, just strolling down the sidewalk. And the Ontario Police, this is psychological torture where they're flying over and she's crossing path, pacing back and forth to her vehicle. This is the gang stalking by the households at Woodside Senior. All right, and never is the sun going to be over the same apartment building. While you see it here, it never made it to Florida. It's not in Texas. It didn't go anywhere. It's staying over the same apartment complex, okay, where the Ontario International Airport is fully engaged in state surveillance, fully engaged in an ongoing sex offense, monitoring my genitalia. The government in Ontario interested in when I pull my panties down, and so are the gang stalkers that are living at Woodside Senior Apartments while in custody of children. And they engage in psychological torture, the criminal interference with quiet enjoyment as I document them and publish it online. All right, everyone here is going to prison. Units 1 through 44 are all going to be prosecuted under Violence Against Women Act, the HUD regulation, whereby they're all receiving discounts off of their rent, not working while gang stalking. And they are also going to be prosecuted for domestic terrorism and psychological torture. They're gang stalkers here at Woodside Senior Apartments. It is currently 2:03 p.m. where this fake sun is over the same exact apartment building where you saw a delivery, which is a malicious engagement in the P.O.C. at 8:30 in the morning, where it was right here. 9, 10, 11, 12, 1, 2 o'clock. 5 hours later, and it's still here. Well, I'm at the same apartment. That's P.O.C. All right. The entity is, I want you to pay attention. The sound of the plane activity is not the product of any plane taking off, and you're not rising in elevation over Woodside. This is identifying stalking by planes. And it is the criminal contribution to why the elderly are gang stalking a woman inside of an apartment complex. This is the same light activity that you saw in the morning. It's never the product of sunlight. This is while the entity is in real time monitoring evidence that I am publishing on the internet. While you're looking at engineer light appearing on the floor, this is impulsible light activity. It's not the product of sunlight, and it's also not going to be the case while the sun's over Alvarado Gardens in Los Angeles, California. This is where the government is stalking in planes and in helicopters while demons engage in psychological torture with the government, while a demon-possessed gang stalker is terrifying and torturing an American citizen inside of a private space. They're all going to federal prison for at a minimum of 7 years, but they're all getting more than 7 years. Okay? It is again currently 2:04 p.m. This is P.O.C. This is engineer light that's now coding this. This is where the fake sun is remaining over the apartment, where the entity is targeting by commercial planes over the venue, engaged in ongoing criminal surveillance. This is P.O.C.